I'll just adjust these vertices by pressing Shift V and moving them a little bit forward. Now we are going to create the holes for the wheel, the fenders. For that, I will just use my knife tool by pressing K and then pressing Enter to confirm the selection. And then I will select those faces and then just delete them by pressing X and faces. Then I will just adjust a little bit, create some nice curvature. I will just add one more vertex by pressing Ctrl R to create to make it more circular. I'll just add one more loop cut. Select that vertex and move it a little bit to make it circular. I will use my knife tool again and then just add one more edges to make the outer circle or circumference so that we can extrude it outwards afterwards. We'll move this vertex a little bit. We'll add one vertex by Ctrl R. We'll add one more vertex by pressing Ctrl R. Select these two vertices and press J to join them. Just move this vertex a little bit. Select these two vertices and join by pressing J. Now just go to Edit, Preferences and enable Mesh Loop Tools. Now select those two vertices, and just to have an average distance between the two vertices we can use those loop tools options. Now I will select these 4 to 5 vertex, press right click loop tools and just space them equally by pressing space so that there will be equal space between those vertices. Right click, select those vertices, right click loop tools and space. So the vertices are equally spaced. Now I will select all those faces. I will just select this edge and just dissolve this edge. Just move this vertex a little bit. Now I will select all these faces and extrude it on x-axis. Maybe not all, but just the upper 4 to 5 faces. And then I will extrude it on x-axis a little bit. I will select these edges and merge them at last so that a nice slope would be achieved. Select, select, and merge at last. Just select these two edges and move them inside a little bit so that the hard edge can be avoided. The same thing we will do for the rear wheels also by using knife tool. I will just make a hole for the wheels. Press enter to confirm the knife selection. Now just adjust those vertices. Select those faces. Press X and delete the faces. And just like we did before, we are going to use our knife tool again and create some more edges around the fender edges. I will just like to adjust this, the rear tail lights. So I will just select this vertex and move it down. Now it looks a little bit good for the tail lights. I will just select this vertex, move it back a little bit. I will just check if it looks good. I will just select all these faces. To move it back a little bit. I will just check from the side view. I'll just try to make it straight. From top view, I will just select the these two vertices and just move them forward to give the windshield a little bit of curve. I will do the same with the back glass also. Just give it a little bit of curve. Now with the knife tool, I will just create an edge between these two vertices. I will select the upper vertices, and from the front view, I'll just move them on x-axis to give a little bit of curve. Now I will select these faces. This one face, I will duplicate it by pressing Shift D, and by pressing P, I will separate it by selection. Now I'm going to select it and set by clicking right click. I'm just setting this its origin to the geometry. I will just scale it a little bit. To create the side design. If your scaling is not proper, then just make sure to select that object, right click, and just set its origin to geometry. Now here I am having some problem to extrude it on the x-axis. Now since we have duplicated it from the original geometry, it will give some problems. So in the object mode, just press Ctrl A and Alt transform. So now it fixes everything. Even the mirror modifier is applied since we duplicated it from the original geometry. Now just go into edit mode and extrude it on x-axis. I'll just select this edge and press Ctrl B to bevel it. First I will like to rotate it to give it a little bit of shape. Just go into X-ray mode and then select all the vertices and then rotate it on x-axis. Now I will select this edge and just bevel it again, just like before. I will select this object and duplicate it by pressing Shift D and moving it in y-axis. Now since it is duplicated, it has some problems with scaling. So we have to set the origin to geometry. So just select that object, right click. First Control A and set all transform. and then right click, set origin and origin to geometry. Now you can scale it on y-axis. Select the edge. Now since we have duplicated it, so it will have some bevel previous edges, so just select those edges and dissolve it. Just select the extra edges and press X to dissolve the edges. Now it has the mirror mode. First we will bevel it on both the sides. Now since you can see those two objects, now we will just select that object, go to modifiers, and we will select mirror object as the car. So we just pick up the dropper and select the object as the car. Now the mirror modifier will work properly. I will just duplicate it again and move it front to create some indicator. Just one indicator. I will scale it down a little bit. First I will set right click, set origin to geometry. Now I will scale it in y axis. Just press it inside a little bit. Now I'm going to create some space for the nameplate, for the number plate. I'll just add one loop cut, and then I will select some few faces. First I will insert it, and then I'm just going to move it on y-axis so that it will be inside. I will select these two vertices and then press M to merge them. This and M and merge at last. I will select this middle face and just press X to delete those faces. I will select this edge and move and join them. I will just select I'll just adjust the bumper vertices. I will just try to put them in a straight line. So now I will add one plane. Yeah, we are going to make a mirror for this car. For this car, we'll scale it in x-axis. We'll select all the vertices and give it a little bit of bevel. And now I'm going to extrude it. And then just bevel it a little bit. Now I'm going to select the inside edges and insert it. If you do too much, then it can get a little bit clunky. So I will just not do that. And just select this that geometry, that object, and rotate it on x-axis and place it properly to the proper location from all the views. Now I'm going to add one cylinder. I'll just adjust the scale and location. Just rotate it on x-axis. Just scale it down a little bit. And just join to the mirror from all the edges. No, just check the proper location. Just going to scale it a little bit. Now I will in the edit mode I will select those edges and then just extrude it a little bit. Now I will select the spin tool. Now I will press shift and right click to place the 3D cursor, and on the x-axis I will just spin the tool so that we will extrude it in a circular manner. Now in object mode I will just select and rotate it on y-axis a little bit. Now in edit mode I will select those edges and extrude it a little bit down, and then I will extrude and press S to scale it. I will extrude it once more and then scale it again, and then again extrude. Then I'm going to select both the objects and stick it to the car and just rotate it a little bit. Now I will select the mirror and I will just add a mirror modifier, and I will select the mirror object as the body of the car. Since the mirror are two different objects, so I have to add a mirror object to both the objects, the mirror and the stick. Now I will add a plane. I will proceed to make a door handle. I'll just scale it on x-axis, make a rectangle. Control A and all transform. In edit mode, I will just give it a bevel. Just adjust the size. In edit mode, I will just extrude it above on z-axis. Then inset by pressing I. Extrude below on z-axis. I will add a cube. Just scale it down. move on x-axis. Just adjust the shape a little bit. And just rotate a bit more, scale it down, then extrude more. Just rotate it on y-axis, scale it down a little bit, and then extrude to make the door handle. And just try to give it a shape, a proper shape. I will alt select those edges and then scale it down. Now I will select the cube and the plane and scale it down. First I will rotate it on z axis and then on y axis by 90 degrees, and then just scale it down a little bit. And from the side view I will just see how it suits. I will just rotate it on y axis a little bit. First I will set the origin to the geometry so that it rotates properly.